So, not being GaryVee,
Yeah.
how can I sort of inspire people around me to work on their excuses?
It's funny, long before I was GaryVee, this is what I was doing for my high school friends who were doing stupid things like drugs and alcohol or driving drunk because they wanted to act cool in front of somebody. This is just about self-esteem. It's so simple, it's almost overly emotional for me. This is about self-esteem. The way I choose to do it, and you know this is how I do it, is I go directly at it. If every one of us can think of somebody we care about right now that's just not doing it right, and all you have to do is sit them down and tell them they're not doing it right, but we don't want to do that because we'd rather not short-term hurt their feelings and let them fail long-term, which is remarkably crazy if you give a fuck about somebody. So what can you do as not GaryVee? Have the actual conversation and tell your sister, your mom, your uncle, your aunt, your child, your best friend, the next time they come up with an excuse, that it's a excuse. The reason I say the thing that if there's anybody that ever looked like you that made it, then there's no excuse, is because I believe it. You know, it's really hard. You're in an argument and your friend tells you, that's great, Gary, but both my parents were alcoholics. And that really f***ed me up. Right now you're on the defense. That's a good first punch by them. I'm like, cool, we don't need to use me. If anybody has ever been successful that had 2 alcoholic parents, which, by the way, I know of 3, well then, now what's your excuse, Karen? We are just so interested in blaming everybody else and excuses because we don't want to take on responsibility. And somewhere a long time ago, I went completely, do you know I think everything is my fault? Like, all of it? Like, I think it's weirdly cloudy outside right now and not nice out. My fault. Like, his scar, my fault. Like, I just default into my fault. And everybody tries to do everything else the other way. And let me tell you how good life becomes when you take on responsibility. It gets real good. Some of you, and there's a lot of you that follow me, you know why I keep bringing up the last scene of 8 Mile, the Eminem movie? How many people have seen that movie? Great. The last scene, they go into the battle. He makes fun of himself the whole time because it leaves the other person with nothing. The leverage is in being accountable of everything. The leverage is exposing your weaknesses. I proudly talk about passing on Uber twice, being a DNF student. You know, I proudly talk about my shortcomings, right? I can't wait for more bad things to happen. I mean it, because I will talk about them because what, you're so fucking perfect? Fuck you, right? So how do you do it? You have the conversation and you realize that you're doing a disservice to the people you love the most by holding your mouth shut because you're not willing to deal with the short-term conflict.